Move in. Come. Fill in the space. Okay, we're waiting for you. We're all waiting on you.
You have to pull all the legs in down?
Well, yeah, it's a hobby.
Yeah,
Everybody's got to
anybody
have
seen
a
that
hobby.
brown bottle?
Okay,
brown
all right. We're about ready. Next
Must be
chapter
following the law.
goes a little something like this. Families came from near and not too far to pick out the best picnic tables, first come, first served.
On great green lawns and sandy beaches.
Beaches made of imported white,
Monterey sand.
Oh, the best.
Suits, ties, and hats were the acceptable dress for men.
Yes, dresses, sun hats, parasols for the ladies.
Families mixed and mingled.
The kids frolicked and cavorted. And on every Sunday and holiday, there were free outdoor entertainments.
Hey, don't miss the beauty pageant on the outdoor stage right after the wrestling match.
That's right. And come this weekend, help us send off Faye Lamphere, Miss California,
to Coney Island in New York for the Miss America pageant.
Wow. Now, for those of you with little ones, don't miss the kiddie ride,
The petting zoo.
the Jester's Palace,
Ooh, the dazzling Denzel merry-go-round. From Germany.
from Germany. Yeah, right.
Well, all this wonder and delight is about to work up an appetite. So have yourself a Coney Island Red Hot or two. Oh, and hey, don't miss
the latest sweet treat invention, invented right here in Neptune Beach,
the snow cone. Blueberry is my favorite. Yes, sir, it was all about the waters, the ocean's waters that brought our distant
and not so distant ancestors to these shores.
waters all too absent on some routes.
All too deep and dangerous on others.
But once endured and overcome, became enjoyment.
and fun and healing,
healing.
and
Hygiene.
Oh, that's right. Yes, being clean was not
Wasn't
just,
just
for the
for
well
anybody
to do
anymore.
anymore,
Hey, taking a bath seemed to be really catching on.
or catching up here in the wild, wild west. Now anybody with 2 bits and a desire to smell better can partake in
The heated waters at Sunny Cove,
cottage baths,
Green Harbor,
terrace baths.
Palm Beach.
And by 1917, the Strelo family had improved the laid-back culture of the bath to a high-energy, big-time enterprise.
Advertising all over California, the beach was safe surf, no undertow.
Pools of heated salt water, pure, clean of bacteria, while purified by the renowned Dr. Bestie's filtering system.
Yes, healthy amusements and superior management.
The largest outdoor swimming pool.
In the world! 35 cents actual. A locker, a towel, and a Matner and Cantor wool swimsuit.
With the mandatory 9-inch inseam.
And the natatorial amusements taking place in the Olympic pool.
They had high diving,
Synchronized swimming,
canoe jousting,
water polo,
duck catching,
tug racing. Hey, and don't miss this weekend's exciting swim contest race around the island between Johnny Weissmuller and Duke Kahanamoku.
and next week, come help us and the Alameda Mermaid Nellie Schmidt as she becomes the first woman to attempt to swim across the bay.
Yes, heated hot salt water baths to strengthen the young.
Invigorate the old.
All in all, a great place to weather
The worries of the world.
except for that one time.
Yes. 7 days after the grand opening of Neptune Beach in 1917, the United States joined the First World War already in progress over in Europe.
And 2 months later, the first slacker raid occurred in this very park, looking for young men without their draft cards. I can't understand. Their country calls.
Yeah, I've heard that call. In fact, I'm shipping out tomorrow. Yeah, I've got some business to take care of with that Kaiser guy over there. See you again.
I hope. Well, progress progresses. But in the 20s after the war, adventure became the name of the game. In our newly built ballroom above the cafeteria, they brought the latest dance and music crazes to our island city. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Lessons in cha-cha-cha. The high-stepping Charleston, the black bottom, the turkey trot, and the more sedate waltzes. And don't forget the latest exotic import from Argentina, the sumptuous, the sinuous tango. Many a romance bloomed and blossomed on this maple-sprung floor, above and below the silk lanterns. Every weekend the dance floor filled, powered by the sounds of the Neptune Orchestra. There seemed to be no end in sight to the wonder and delight of the spirited era. The Roaring '20s proved to be the heyday of this wondrous destination. But time and economics began to whittle at the way ability to keep the gates open and the rides running. And the stock market crash of 29 began the decade-long stumble to its demise. The growing popularity of the auto, the opening of the Golden Gate and the Bay Bridges pulled crowds away from the ferry system. Away from the ferry system as more far-flung opportunities became available to families. With the Depression continuing, folks were pinching their nickels and dimes. The crowds continued to dwindle until finally in 1939, the gates closed for good and the attractions were sold off for pennies on the dollar. The growing threat of war, the military took over the land. And the next chapter in Crab Cove history began. Look like you have a spine. Come on, it's wartime.
Hey.
I signed up.
Good to see you, old friend. Duty calls again, huh?
Got some new candidates for you.
Okay. Line them up. I'll tell them what they're in for.
Yes, sir. All right, now I want you all to listen carefully and closely because the commander's telling you things that may save your life. Remember, this is war. Attention! At ease!
Gentlemen, the United States government, by way of the Merchant Marine Act of 1936, welcomes you to the Merchant Marine Officers Training School and thanks you for volunteering to crew the merchant ships, the pack horses of the sea that will connect the production line here at home with the firing line in both the Pacific and European theaters. This is a two-ocean war, gentlemen. Now, some of you have sea experience. Very few of you have combat experience. Some of you were too old or could not pass the medical test to be in the military. And some of you have had a few too many brushes with the law. Nonetheless, here you are, choosing to serve your country in a great time of danger. And for that, I salute you. Now, as candidates for either engineering officer or deck officer, you will be instructed over these next 4 months by those of us with considerable respect and a deep understanding about the sea and war. Chief, why don't we show them the ropes?
Yes, sir. Attention! Face! Forward march!
Heave-ho, my lads, heave-ho. Heave-ho, my lads, heave-ho. It's a long, long way to go. It's a long, long pull with our hatches full, braving the wind, braving the sea, fighting the treacherous foe. Heave-ho, my lads, heave-ho. Heave-ho, my lads, heave-ho. The seas roll high or low. We can cross any ocean, sail any river, give us a good, sail deliver. Damn the submarine! We're the men of the Merchant Marine!
Attention! At ease. All present and accounted for, sir.
Thank you, Chief. Freedom. The orders of the day, please.
Yes, sir. All right, listen up carefully. These are your orders for the day. 800 hours, turn 2 and commence cleanup. There will be an inspection. Starboard deck section will attend aircraft recognition class, followed by semaphore exercises. Port deck section will practice gunnery, drills, and fire control solution. 1100 hours. Engineering sections A, B, and C will commence damage control drills. That's with gas masks today, gentlemen. Lunch. Now we have a new cooking crew breaking in this week, so look, you guys. Cut them some slack. Quit crabbing. All deck sections will work with the Navy Armed Guard at the gunnery range for live fire, followed by field stripping of 30 caliber, 50 caliber, and 20 millimeter cannons. Port and starboard deck sections will review cargo loading strategies for ammo and fuel, followed by maintenance of steam and hydraulic winches. Engineering sections will light off freshwater evaporators and will demonstrate potability by drinking their effort. I hope you guys learned your lesson from last week. Be a good idea if you just kept the salt in the sea. Please. 1,700 hours. Now, those cadets assigned to the parade at the Fox Theater in Frisco tonight for the premiere of the movie Action in the North Atlantic starring Humphrey Bogart. And you guys assemble at the bus stop in dress blues. You'll know where it is. I'll be at the head of the line. Oh, addendums. It has been confirmed that Jack Benny himself will give a show next weekend for base personnel. Basically, that's those of you guys that are not on my delinquent list. Oh, and by the way, the snafu with the mail, look, it's been fixed. Don't ask me about it again, all right? Attention!
Dismissed. At the end of this two-ocean war, the United States Merchant Marine had provided the greatest sea lift of men and materiel in the history of the world. 215,000 civilian volunteers of all ages and races had faced the challenges of not only the sea, but of war. Typhoons, hurricanes, ice storms, bombs, torpedoes, mines, kamikaze attacks, U-boat attacks, adrift at sea in a lifeboat, prisoners of war. They became known as the Forgotten Force. 1 in 26 merchant mariners did not come home. They came home and they did not receive any acclaim. They came home, they did not receive any parades, and they did not receive from the government any recompense for wounds or widows. And this grievous error was not corrected until 1988. Those that returned had experienced other shores, other lands, other cultures, other myths, music, and traditions. Horizons had been crossed, and they brought those experiences home home to this shore, home to this island by the bay. And now their future and ours lies waiting down that shoreline.
altar on either side of the path and join us on the beach.
Now's the time if you have